The glass walls of the executive floor reflected him back in fragments. Creased shirt, tired eyes, a man who hadn't slept properly in years. He stood there anyway, holding a thin folder against his chest like it could shield him from what was coming. "Stop staring, nobody." The words cut sharp and public. Heads turned. Keyboards paused. The elevator doors slid closed behind him with a soft final chime, trapping the moment in silence. She stood in the center of it all. Tailored suit, flawless makeup, the kind of confidence that came from never having to worry about daycare pickup times or reheated dinners. Her eyes flicked over him with visible annoyance. "You think standing there will change anything?" she continued. "This company needs performers, not distractions." A few people looked down. A few pretended to laugh. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't clench his fists. He simply adjusted his grip on the folder. "I'm not a distraction," he said quietly. "I'm asking for flexibility. Just 1 month." "My daughter," she scoffed, loudly. "Everyone has problems," she said. "Single dad, sick kid, traffic excuses. I don't pay salaries for sob stories." The folder trembled slightly in his hands. Inside it were performance reports, sales graphs, client retention numbers that quietly told a different story. He had stayed late more nights than he could count. Closed deals during lunch breaks while helping his daughter with spelling homework on speakerphone. He had missed birthdays, school plays, sleep, for this job. "I've exceeded every target this quarter," he said, voice still steady. "All I'm asking is temporary remote work. I can prove." She cut him off with a raised palm. "I don't need proof. I need obedience." Her lips curved into a thin, satisfied smile. "You're not special. And you're replaceable." The word echoed. Replaceable. "Clean out your desk," she said. "Security will escort you." There it was. No meeting. No HR. No warning. Just a verdict delivered like she was bored of the conversation. For a second, he thought of arguing. Thought of begging. Thought of explaining that his daughter's mother had passed away 2 years ago and that mornings were the hardest. That nights were lonelier than anyone could imagine. Instead, he nodded. "Understood," he said. That seemed to irritate her more than tears would have. As he turned to leave, a junior analyst whispered, "I'm sorry," barely audible. He offered a small smile in return, one that didn't quite reach his eyes. At his desk, he packed slowly. A photo frame, him and his daughter at the park, her missing front tooth grinning at the camera. A mug that read "World's Okayest Dad." A joke gift from a coworker who once stayed late with him to finish a pitch. A folded drawing with crayon hearts and crooked letters. "I love you, Daddy." Security hovered awkwardly behind him. "I'm fine," he said gently. "I know the way." In the elevator, alone now, his shoulders finally sagged. The mask slipped. For the first time since his wife's funeral, fear crawled up his spine. Rent, school fees, groceries. How do you explain to a 6-year-old that promises sometimes break? His phone buzzed as the elevator descended. Unknown number. He almost ignored it. Almost. "Hello?" he said. A calm voice replied, professional but warm. "Is this Daniel Reed? This is from the board's private office. We're reviewing an urgent matter regarding today's termination. Please remain available." The elevator doors opened. He stepped out into the lobby, heart pounding. Across the building, high above, the CEO was still standing by the glass wall, arms crossed, already moving on to her next meeting. She had no idea. No idea that the folder he'd been holding wasn't just performance reports. No idea who had recommended him to the board 3 years ago. No idea that the man she called nobody had quietly changed the company's most profitable division from the ground up. and no idea that in just a few minutes, the power in that building was about to shift. Forever. He sat on a cold bench outside the building, the city humming like nothing had happened. Suits rushed past. Coffee cups steamed. Life moved on without waiting for permission. His phone felt heavier in his hand than it should have. He stared at the screen for a long moment before calling back. "Yes," he said finally. "This is Daniel." "Mr. Reed," the voice replied, clearer now, older, measured. "This is Margaret Hale, chair of the board." His breath caught. I'm available," he said, unsure what else to offer. "We know," she replied. "That's the problem." There was a pause, long enough for his heart to start racing. "You were terminated this morning by the CEO," she continued, "without board review, without HR clearance, and without context." He closed his eyes. "I didn't intend to cause trouble," he said. "If this is about legal paperwork, I'll cooperate." Margaret sighed softly. "You're still protecting the company, even now." That sentence landed heavier than the firing itself. "Daniel," she said, dropping formality, "do you know why you were hired?" He frowned. "Because I met the targets?" Faint chuckle. "No. Because 3 years ago, when our logistics division was bleeding money, one anonymous consultant sent us a 12-page recovery plan. No name, no invoice, just solutions." His grip tightened. "That plan saved us $42 million in 18 months, she continued. "We spent 6 months trying to find out who wrote it. When we did, it was you, a mid-level analyst who worked after midnight so he could put his daughter to bed first." The traffic noise around him seemed to fade. "You never told anyone," she said. "Not even your manager." "I didn't think it mattered who wrote it," he replied quietly. "I just wanted the company to survive." Another pause. This one felt different. "The board convened an emergency call 10 minutes ago," Margaret said. "The CEO did not expect it. She assumed this was routine." Daniel pictured her. Confident, dismissive, already forgetting his face. "It wasn't," Margaret added. His phone buzzed again. A message popped up from an unfamiliar email address. Subject line, "Urgent board access." "I've just sent you a secure link," Margaret said. "Join the call. Cameras on." "I'm sitting outside," he said. "I was escorted out." "Good," she replied calmly. "Then you'll speak freely." He tapped the link. The screen filled with faces. Men and women he had only seen once a year in company-wide emails. Serious, focused, watching him, and then her, the CEO. Her expression froze the moment she recognized him. "What is this?" she snapped. "Why is he here?" Margaret didn't raise her voice. She didn't need to. "Because," she said, "you fired the wrong person." The CEO laughed, sharp and brittle. "This is absurd. He was underperforming and emotionally unstable. I made a leadership decision." Daniel felt heat rise in his chest. But before he could speak, a graph appeared on the screen. Quarterly growth. His division highlighted in green. Then another slide. Client retention. Then another. Cost reduction strategies. Each stamped with internal codes he recognized. His late nights. His quiet fixes. His invisible work. "You overruled HR," Margaret said. "You violated protocol. And you dismissed the only executive candidate we've been grooming quietly." Silence. "What?" the CEO whispered. Daniel looked up slowly. "Executive candidate?" Margaret turned to him on screen. "Daniel Reed. The board voted last quarter to promote you after Q4. Not publicly. We wanted to see how you handled pressure, responsibility, character." The CEO's face drained of color. You failed that test, Margaret added, eyes never leaving the CEO. Spectacularly. Daniel's phone vibrated again. New email. He swallowed. Daniel, Margaret said gently, this company doesn't need louder leaders. It needs better ones. And you've already been leading, without the title. Across the screen, the CEO opened her mouth. For the first time that day, no one let her speak.